Here is what nobody tells you about strategic thinking. When you don't have it, you don't just miss opportunities. You actively create your own struggles. I've watched brilliant people burn out, relationships crumble, and businesses collapse not because they lacked talent, but because they were constantly fighting fires instead of preventing them. Today, we're diving into strategic thinking, and I'm going to show you how the absence of this one skill is quietly destroying more lives than any external force ever could.
Unbound Mind. Say hello to strategic thinking.
We've collectively decided that strategic thinking is either impossibly complex, completely irrelevant, or something that only applies to generals and Fortune 500 CEOs. For the rest of us, it's kind of, who cares? Strategic thinking is just thinking more than one move ahead, which apparently has become a superpower in 2025. Whether you are a CEO planning world domination or a parent figuring out how to raise kids who won't live in your basement at 30, you are using the same mental toolkit. Seeing what's coming, allocating your limited resources, and adapting when reality punches your plan in the face.
The game time.
Here is a quick self-assessment. I'll give you 8 core characteristics of expert strategic thinkers. Count on your fingers how many you are genuinely proud of, and be honest, nobody's watching. So, you see the forest, not just the trees. You are always thinking, what's next? You question things others accept. You pivot without panicking. You quickly spot the same shit happening again. You are genuinely excited to learn new things. You think in dominoes, how changing one thing will affect everything else. And you make things happen rather than wait for them to happen. Now, care to share your scores in the comments?
When this shows up.
Want to be healthy and independent at 60? Strategic thinking. Most people react to health crises instead of preventing them. Want relationships that don't implode every few years? Strategic thinking. The couple who have the same money fight every month because they never aligned on what they're actually building together. Writing a novel, choreographing a dance, or curating an art exhibition without a nervous breakdown? Guess what? Strategic thinking. The parent who's shocked when their straight A student crashes at university because they never taught them how to cope with failure. And here is my curious question to you. Are you raising your kids to make you feel like a good parent today, or to help them cope with life's inevitable shit independently tomorrow? Just asking. The entrepreneur who burns out because they build themselves a really expensive job instead of a business. How many people do you know who work incredibly hard but never seem to get ahead? They confuse activity with strategy. They mistake being busy for being productive. They are optimizing for the wrong variables, fighting yesterday's battles, solving problems that strategic thinking would have prevented entirely. And more about it in these videos. Same pattern, different flavors of avoidable suffering.
The hidden costs.
And here, where it gets personally expensive. When you don't think strategically, you live in a permanent reaction mode. every problem becomes a crisis because you never saw it coming. Every decision feels urgent because you haven't created any breathing room to think. This isn't just stressful, it's literally rewiring your brain for anxiety. Your nervous system stays activated because there's no predictability, no sense of control. You are always one step behind, always playing defense in a game where the life plays offense. Just look at these 4 S's, the results of avoiding strategic thinking: stress, struggle, suffering, and sinking. Impressive, isn't it? Commenting on it would only spoil it. Not thinking strategically means you're operating without a map, a compass, or a clear destination. While you might get lucky for a short while, the chances of getting lost, running out of fuel, or encountering unsurmountable obstacles is unavoidable. Strategic thinking helps navigate complexities, anticipate challenges, and move towards your destination. As such, it mitigates stress, reduces struggle, prevents suffering, and increases the likelihood of success.
How we resist it.
So, why doesn't strategic thinking come naturally, even though it's obviously beneficial? Here is what's actually stopping you. Your brain is wired to resist the very thing that could save you. Immediate gratification bias keeps you focused on short-term wins, while long-term consequences pile up like unpaid bills. Loss and risk aversion treats potential losses as twice as painful as equivalent gains are pleasurable, making you avoid necessary risks that could lead to strategic breakthroughs. Sunk Cost Fallacy. Keep pouring resources into failing tactics simply because you've already invested so much, even when pivoting would be the smarter move. Fear of change and fear of failure offer you the comfort of familiar routines that feel safer than the uncertainty of strategic shifts, even when those routines are slowly killing your progress. Complexity aversion makes your brain shut down when faced with multiple variables and uncertain outcomes. It's easier to react to what's happening now than think about what might happen next. And there are many more. And actually, most of them will be covered on this channel. So if you are ready to level up your strategic game, make sure you don't miss that.
Screw the narrative.
But when we don't know how to do something, or it doesn't come naturally, what do? We craft elegant excuses, because excuses make us feel intellectually justified instead of just wrong.
I need immediate results. Long-term planning is luxury.
If your immediate results don't serve your bigger picture, congratulations. You've just created a very efficient system for spinning your wheels. Your business or life becomes a shepherd without a shepherd, loud, scattered, and heading for a cliff.
I don't have time for strategic thinking.
Well, time and resources are scarce because you are spreading them like butter on burnt toast without any plan. It's a consequence, not a cause. You are too busy being busy to think about whether you are being busy about the right things.
Life is uncertain. Planning is pointless.
Oh, this deserves a slow clap. Control over external circumstances. Well, it's pure illusion. Life will definitely mess with your plans. But choosing to wing it because uncertainty exists, it's like refusing to wear a seatbelt because accidents happen. The uncertainty is exactly why you need strategy. not an excuse to avoid it.
I'm just not strategically inclined.
Well, this is partially true. Some people naturally see big pictures, others get lost in details. But thinking strategically is a skill, not a genetic lottery. You can develop it right after you stop using your current limitations as permanent identity badges.
Mastering the process of strategic thinking.
Strategic thinking isn't rocket science. It's just connecting dots most people can't be bothered to connect. Zoom out. See the bigger picture instead of staring at today's crisis. Nothing exists in isolation, and neither do your problems. Connect the dots. Look for patterns, cause and effect, the relationships between seemingly unrelated things. Think 3 moves ahead. For every action, ask, then what happens? And then ask it again and again. Know what you're actually trying to build. Not what you think you should want, but what you genuinely want to achieve. Allocate resources like they're finite, because they are. Time, energy, money, attention. You can't have everything, so choose consciously. Stay flexible on tactics, rigid on principles. Plans will change. Your core values shouldn't. And find leverage points. Where can small changes create big results?
Unbound mind.
The person who applies this to their fitness doesn't just lose weight. They build sustainable health systems. The parent who thinks strategically doesn't just solve today's tantrum. They develop their child's emotional regulation skills. The business owner who denies immediate promotional opportunity in favor of building a stronger brand, they invest in business profitability. And more about it in these videos. There is a difference between strategic thinking and strategic planning. Planning is the formal methodology and structured process for creating strategy documents and implementation plans. Setting goals, gathering information, generating options, evaluating, prioritizing, monitoring, and the rest. Strategic thinking is the cognitive capability and mental processes used throughout strategy work. When you are immersed in context and apply it continuously, you will start doing it instinctively. I promise. And this is exactly what I talk about in the From Purpose to Profit Strategy Guide. And you can access some of its strategic wisdom below, downloading a 100-page complimentary pack. That said, strategic thinking doesn't come without its own helping tools. Not to bore you with details, you will find them in the video description section, ready for copy-paste.
The mirror test.
And here is your reality check. Every day you operate without strategic thinking, you are not staying neutral, you are falling behind. While you are solving the same problems repeatedly, others are building systems that prevent those problems entirely. Pick one area of your life where you've been purely reactive. What would a strategic approach look like here? What are you optimizing for that doesn't actually matter? What problems are you solving that you should be preventing? Are you confusing activity with strategy, mistaking being busy for being productive? You see, the stress you are feeling, the sense that you are working harder but not getting ahead, the anxiety about the future, these aren't personality flaws or bad luck. They are the natural consequences of tactical thinking in a strategic world. But here is the exciting part. Once you start thinking strategically, everything changes. Not just your results, but your entire relationship with uncertainty. Instead of fearing the future, you start shaping it. The difference between strategy and tactics isn't complexity. It's thinking more than one move ahead. In a world where most people can barely handle the move they're making right now.